Ladies and gentlemen, live from Bishop Hill. Just don't rush the stage, anyone. So we've established, I think, I know everybody else's name out there too, and my name is Doug Rees, and I hail from Jackson, Missouri, over by Cape Girardeau. Now, I can see right now this is going to be a very nice, intimate evening. So I'm going to please invite you, if you have any questions after the song, anything that I say, please ask me. That's what I enjoy doing as well. When the COVID thing hit, to be honest with you, I shut my computer down and quit trying to find gigs out on the road and started to pick up the guitar in a whole different manner, because up to that time I was looking for all those gigs and kind of going through the motions, with the songs, because I was doing it so much. If there's anything good that came out of COVID for me, was reestablishing myself. Donna asked me how long I've been singing and playing, and it's about 6 years old, and I'm 64, and I'm not very good at math, but that's been a long time ago. But I've really enjoyed the instrument again, and I started basically as a guitar player and trying to learn all the fancy little licks and things like that. And my backstory, Donna was asking me, I have 3 children, and I worked very, very hard until the age of 44. And I had a very lucrative position I was a salesperson. That time I was hanging around Nashville more and more, and I thought, you know what? Life goes by pretty damn fast. I think I need to slow this down, because I've always been a sideline musician. I played after I got off work, and I want to get steeped inside of music. I want to feel what it's like to do what these guys do. And I resigned from my job, and my wife just about had a heart attack. And people around the area, being from a small town, had us both divorced, but we made it. I told her I was going to go down for a year, and I stayed there for 2.5 years, actually, and I would come home on the weekends and mow the yard and things like that. But in short, I don't know where I'm going with this story, just kind of telling you my back side. Anyway, that was 20 years ago, and I didn't miss anything about working. I missed the money maybe a little bit, but then COVID hit, and I turned 62 years old, and I now have a steady income of $1,043 every month. Like, boom. Anyway, I'm gonna play some songs for you. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I was telling John, anytime it's pretty outside, I won't burn the day inside. I don't care what it's like. So, matter of fact, you've probably been to one of my shows before, because the possum might be in this one. And it is a true story. Everything that I play is true, with very little embellishment. I was driving real slow on my way home. It was raining, I could hardly see. When all at once I saw a possum there about 50 feet in front of me. He stared into my headlight. I stopped, I let him by. A possum sure is ugly, but he don't deserve to die. Yes, I'm a nature boy, have been all my life. Give me a campfire, my sleeping bag, a guitar on a cool moonlight, a fishing pole, some pistachios, and turn off all the noise. Just like this, just listen. Ain't that nice? Just me and Mother Nature, they call me the nature boy. Ain't it something that a tadpole can turn into a frog? And what was once a big bad wolf has now became your dog. And the beauty of a butterfly, it was once an ugly worm. And every night when the sun goes down, we take another turn. And no matter what we do to Mother Nature, she always seems to heal herself with time. Well, I wonder what would happen if someday we would wake up and the sun wouldn't shine. No, I don't want to change your mind, and I don't want to preach. But if everybody would get along, you know what? That'd be okay with me. Think everybody equal, then the hurt might go away, and the sun will keep on shining, and we'll have us another day. Yes, I'm a nature boy, have been all my life. Give me a campfire, my sleeping bag, a guitar on a cool moonlight, a fishing pole, some fishing poles, turn off all the noise. It's just me and Mother Nature, yeah, they call me the nature boy. No need for the big introductions or the big outros. We're got a small crowd here, but that's kind of what that song's all about. Nature Boy is it. But that is a true story, too, and I don't run over possums. Don't even run over armadillos, which seems to be, we see more of those than we do possums in our area anymore. You think about that, I don't know, I'm not going to get political because I don't know too much about that kind of stuff. But the armadillos used to not come up this far. They stay in the warm climate, and now we see more of them there than anything. So I got married when I was 22 years old, actually. I was pretty much a wild child up at that particular time for the last up to 4 years prior to that. I don't remember much about it, to be honest with you. And I saw her at a party one night, and she was throwing up. And even throwing up, I thought, hey, that's a beautiful girl. See, when your wife's not here, you can say a lot of things. So anyway, I went back, and I tried to get her to go out with me. She wouldn't go out with me, and she was married at the time, or was going through a divorce, and long story short, but I chased her down until I finally got her. And anyway, I wrote this song called I'm Your Man. A lot of these I haven't done for a while, so if I make mistakes, there's no extra charge. I was 22 back then, you were 24. Had 2 small children on your own, just divorced. Everybody warned you about the wild side I had, but you put your faith in love, made me a husband and a dad. And I ain't been easy to love, but you never gave up. I know how lucky I am. You picked me to be your man. Well, we got behind and we caught back up. It's good we can't remember just how hard it was. In a house we built with dreams, and on every wall there's a memory made by you and me. And I'd do it all again. I don't regret a thing. I You picked me to be your man. Yes, we had our share of hard times, but we kept on hanging on, and our love gets stronger all the time. I don't know what I'd do without you, baby, and I don't want to try. You married a boy, you made him a man, and I hope you know without a doubt, girl, how thankful I am. I ain't been easy to love, but you never gave up. I know how lucky I am. You picked me to be your man, to be your man, oh, to be your man. Thank you. Here's to you. I usually don't drink on stage unless I've got like 6 more to back it up, but this is just going to do finely. So as I mentioned, I've got 3 children. Any of you that have children in your lifetime, you know that there are no children, no 2 children alike. Just like there are no 2 people alike, thank goodness. But everything was going good until the young one got up to be about 16 years old. And one reason, by the way, that I went ahead and resigned from that job, I'm thinking, you know what? The only thing I'm doing now is making more money for him to get into more meanness with. He just needs one income with his meanness. So anyway, it's called Talking to My Plants. And this, too, is a true story. My roof's been leaking for over a year, and the boss won't give me a raise. Youngest boy just bought a car, and I ain't seen him for days. My wife, she's got men on pause. She's living with her aunt. Me, I'm sitting here in my underwear, and I'm talking to my plants. Little more water over a little buddy? You look like you about to drown. A little quiet goes a long, long way. Don't like to be alone. But the TV ain't worth watching. There's no one to call on the telephone. I wish I could change some things I've done, Bob, but I know I can't. So I'm sitting here in my underwear, and I'm talking to my plants. You see, plants, they don't argue about anything I say. A little water and some sunshine keeps them happy every day. They're always glad to see me under any circumstance. Yes, I'm sitting here in my underwear, and I'm talking to my plants. You cats get out of the mater. Get it. See, I tried talking to a shrink one time. I got worse off than I was. I did Prozac for a little while, but I didn't like that buzz. Too tired to have relations, and I'm too tired to have romance. Yes, I'm sitting here in my underwear, and I'm talking to my plants. You see, plants, they don't argue about anything I say. A little water and some sunshine keeps them happy every day. They're always glad to see me under any circumstance. I'm sitting here in my underwear and I'm talking to my plans. Any questions on that song? Maybe not. What's that, Donna? Yeah, I think it made him grow better. I think it did, yeah. Yeah, maybe not the underwear thing, but some crazy days with that young man, but he turned out good. I'm proud of him. Took him a while, but did me too. Like I said, I've told you a little bit of my backstory. He wasn't much different than me, probably. But it's different when you go through it as a daddy, because you can already see it coming before it gets there. There's not a darn thing you can do about it, except like let him get through it, I suppose. I look around here in the room, and this has gotten to be a very big thing here for the last few years. My wife's got them everywhere. The red trucks. The red trucks, that's kind of a symbol of whatever it may be for Christmas, fall, whatever. But I had a red Toyota truck, 1990. Bob remembers this. I drove that thing for 20 years, almost to the day. It had back and forth to Nashville. It had almost 300,000 miles on it. All my grandkids, that was the first thing they ever drove, sitting in my seat, sitting there with me. And anyway, blowing that head gasket, I thought, you know what, I'm tired of sitting in the same seat. I want something different, and I decided to sell it. And it was not an easy thing to do. The kids, they really did. There were a few tears shed with that, and we took pictures of it. But anyway, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll just write a song about it, and that way we can preserve it. So with a long story short there, I sold that truck, and I got a new one. I got a 1995, and it only had 200,000 miles on it. Now I have 258, I think. Ted Clark doesn't like that little truck. It's not for people that's 6'5". And by the way, I should introduce him to you. You guys have met me, but Ted and I go way, way back in this music business. He started hiring me in bands whenever I was, 18, 19 years old. And then I worked for him for 10 years in the same small town, in the same, I'm not going to call it a bar, it was a songwriting room. And we worked for a long time to get that thing going. That's why I wanted you guys to meet, John, because a lot of the same painful things you go through. And one of them is not making any money. He come to me, he said, Doug, will you play at Stooges every Thursday? And I said, Ted, if Elvis Presley was here every Thursday, if Elvis Presley was here every Thursday, I wouldn't come and see him. He said, you got to make a plan and stick with it. But what I would do is Ted would have me do an hour, and then many of the performers that I've played here had played at Stooges as well. And they would play an hour, and we built up a decent following and had something that nobody else had. And I don't know where. You say Memphis, St. Louis, but you take me to those places, and I'd be glad to go, but I don't know where they're at. The listening rooms, the places that I come and play. It's something else. It's different when you have a crowd that actually listens to what you've put your heart and soul into these songs. And people if they listen to them, that's the ultimate compliment. I quit giving up. I mean, money's not something in this business that doesn't go hand in hand with music. It's you do it because you love it. Whenever you don't like it anymore, it's time to move on, do something else, I guess, because I get such a thrill out of playing in front of 5 or 6 people, probably more than I do 100 people that really don't really care whether I'm there or not. And I know that's true. So anyway, with that said as well, Ted Clark is the one that kind of helped me get moving on. He became a very good friend of mine, and he even now knows how to run sound. So he's pretty good guy. He does. Petted her ever so gently, and I walked away. Watched her out my rear view mirror, had tears rolling down my face. I knew it was gonna hurt me, but I never dreamed so much. Yeah, things were sure different around there without my old red truck. 'Cause we've been through so much together, it was like leaving a piece of my heart. She took care of me for over 20 years and never one time failed to start. But the kids said that I was a tightwad and I was pressing too hard on my love. They talked me into it, but I sure did miss my old red truck. That was the 3rd day of December on my birthday a year ago. Now tonight on my way home from bingo, I saw her sitting on the side of the road. The sign said $1,000, but I only gave him 900 bucks. I called my wife to come and get me, and I drove home in that old red truck. And now I wax her every Friday, and I keep her in my garage. I only get her out on Sundays when we go to church and then out to Mom's. Kids still say I'm a tightwad, but now they understand my love. And they say they're probably gonna bury me in that old red truck. Yeah, they're probably gonna bury me in that old red truck. I miss my old red truck, yes I do. I miss that old red truck. It's now turned into a white one, 5 years newer, but it's still my red truck, still my red truck. I still miss that old red truck, that old red truck. So that's the way you can kind of keep your old vehicle around, I suppose. Good beer there, John. Is that a local one? I don't think so either. But I like it. That's a good one. So, like I said, I'm from Missouri. I am eastern Missouri, basically Cape Girardeau area. I don't know if you've been through there, but we have rolling hills. And when you get closer to the river, we have what they call the river hills, really steep hills. And my friend, he lives over by the river hills. And growing up, riding a school bus, we'd always go pick him up in the gravel roads in the summertime or in the wintertime. Even when it got dry, obviously, it was just like so dusty you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. So years back, I don't know why they chose this particular spot, but they lived in a place they call Pink Root Holler. I'll tell you a little bit about that, too, because you're going to think I'm a little nasty on the second verse on this, but it's true. Pink root is actually a root that the Native Americans used for medicine and things like that. But the other tie-in that I'm going to use was also true, so it kind of was a good opportunity for me to kind of fuse those together, I suppose. And you'll know what I'm talking about when I get there. But anyway, it seemed really odd that they came and paved this one particular road. So one day I wrote a song about it called Pink Root Holler. It goes like this. Get your bluegrass on. This road was built in the 1900s, a shortcut for the whiskey runners. Nebo Hill to the old Indian Creek store during the war. Well, it runs through Pink Root Holler where my dad was raised and so was his father. I ain't never left the family farm. Now they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar. They got a Dairy Queen and a Piggly Wiggly store. Yes, they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar. But I ain't never leaving Pink Root Holler. Here's a payoff verse. It got its name, as the story goes, about a lady who used to take off her clothes for money. You can read between the lines. She would send the kids outside to pick pink root when a man arrived, and he'd buy a sack, but then he'd go on his way. Now they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar. They got a Walmart and an all-night liquor store. Yes, they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar, but I ain't never leaving Pink Root Holler. Hey, y'all Google down and check me out. Click on Mo Lehman's in town and scroll down Pink Root Holler and you'll see my house. It's the only one over 10 years old left on Pink Root Holler Road, and they ain't got enough money to buy me out. Yes, they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar. We're getting street lights in the city limit sign. Yes, they're paving Pink Root Holler. Make way for another dollar. But I ain't never leaving Pink Root Holler. No, I ain't never leaving Pink Root Holler. Get out of here now. Little bluegrass for you there. A little bit of bluegrass. Pink Root Holler. So since I've kind of told you about the Pink Root Holler in the school bus, I think it's a perfect opportunity to maybe play this song for you. As a kid, you know, you have a lot of influences, and one of them is usually your bus driver because you spend a lot of time with that person. And Miss Betty was a very, very great bus driver. Ted Clark can share this story with me too, because Miss Betty and her husband used to come down to Stooges every Thursday night, and they sat exactly the same pew over here. So long story short, Betty was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I had written a song about her husband, Jim, and before she got really bad, she came up to me, she said, "When are you going to play me a song? When are you going to write me a song?" And I, for some reason, I was racking my head trying to figure out what kind of song I would write for her. And one day it just hit me, and it just came. This song came just like that, because it's all true episodes. While Betty and I were riding the bus together, sometimes since I was the first one on in the morning, it might just be me and her. So we had quite a bond. And you know, the long short of this, whenever she started getting really advanced into her disease, she would come in and she would look very lost, and she might greet me at the door, but she couldn't remember my name. And then she would sit back in that pew, and I would sing this song, and she would sing every word of it. So anyway, it is pretty cool. Miss Betty and Me is the name of this song. Miss Betty drove the bus for all of us that lived down in the country. I was the first one on in the morning and the last one one off in the afternoon. We must have run around the world a couple times together on gravel roads and blacktops through all kinds of weather. I would look up in that mirror and I'd see Miss Betty and me. We picked up David Aubuchon and Cindy and Renee, a half a dozen other kids before the break of day. You could set your watch at 7. We'd pick up Cousin Mark. Miss Betty, she saw trouble, so she kept us two apart. Then 2 or 3 big families, that bus got pretty full. And Miss Betty always right on time, let us off at school. Miss Betty drove the bus for all of us that lived out in the country. I was the first one on in the morning and the last one off in the afternoon. We must have rolled around the world a couple times together on gravel roads and blacktops through all kinds of weather. And I would look up in that mirror, then I'd see Miss Betty and me. We slid down Nebo Hill one time backwards in the snow. We met a tractor on a curve one time and he ran us off the road. We got sideways on a one-way bridge and had to flee the bus. And we waited for an hour for someone to pick us up, and we broke down in Pink Root Holler. We had a flattened Oreo, but somehow Miss Betty, she always got us home. Miss Betty drove the bus for all of us that lived out in the country. I was the first one on in the morning and the last one off in the afternoon. We must have rolled around the world a couple times together on gravel roads and blacktops through all kinds of weather. And I would look up in that mirror, then I'd see Miss Betty and me. Miss Betty and me. Miss Betty and me. I borrowed the intro and the outro, as you all well know. Have you ever been over to Mount Airy, North Carolina? That's where Andy Griffith was from. And anyway, they have kind of rebuilt a lot of that staging in that place. It's pretty cool. And that's where the intro kind of came from. I'm thinking I need to put that in that song anyway. So years ago, I was over in Coffeyville, Kansas. Do you remember the Moore, Oklahoma tornado? You remember hearing about that? Well, Coffeyville, Kansas was 70 miles north of that, and I was playing a nursing home series over there. And they put me up in the dorm rooms in a store. I'll get more on it, but anyway, long and short of it, whenever I went back, I got back right before the bad stuff hit, and I had, from my car to the hotel or the dorm room door was about half the distance of this room, and I had my guitar in the case. And my guitar got wet because of all the vacuum. It's hard to tell you what it was like. It wasn't the direct wind, it was the vacuum, the suction, I guess. But my guitar was in the case, shut in, and I got in the room and I opened it up and the guitar was wet. Weird. Tornadoes can do us a lot of weird stuff. So anyway, I was playing at this nursing home right before that, and the sirens went off in the town. And again, the Moore, Oklahoma is where the tornado came through. And we're sitting there, and there was this gentleman with his wife. She was the one that was the resident there, and he had his arm around her. I'll never forget that. And he was coloring something. And they said, Mr. So-and-so, you want to go out to can we go to the hallway? And he said, no. He said, you know, I've been through a lot of stuff. We've been through a lot of stuff in our life. He said, I think I'll just stay right here. And he, at that particular time, he handed me what he was coloring, and it was a rose. And I took that rose and I put it in the guitar case. Whenever I got home, this song just popped out because I saw the true love that those two had. You could see through it. She was not coherent anymore whatsoever. But they have went through everything in their life already. The tornado was not a threat. So anyway, this is my love song for that couple that I saw that day. Don't know their names. Actually, he signed it, but I'm not sure who it was. Why do I see painted roses when I look into your pretty face? It seems, my dear, that you never change. You look the same after all of these years. Why do I see painted roses? Because like you, they never ever fade. Always and forever, like a memory in a frame. Painted roses, they remind me of you. When that sun comes through the window in the morning, sometimes I just lie awake and watch you sleep. And I realize how lucky that I am to have someone like you. You know you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Why do I see painted roses? Because we are painted roses too. And we'll live forever together on some wall, along with memories. Remind me of you. We'll live forever together on some wall, along with memories that were made by me and you. Painted Roses. Thank you much. Yeah, it's that song is, again, sometimes they come to you, sometimes they just mess with you. I got to be honest with you, you know, as I told you, I haven't been playing that much, so I've been doing a lot of playing my guitar and singing songs around my fireplace, you know, and going through the songs, sometimes I get kind of lost in them. Yeah, I remember why I wrote that now. Yeah, I like that. But then I got this one song I was singing the other day, and And I literally stopped in the middle of it. I said, that song sucks. It really does. I mean, I didn't like it anymore after that. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it again, but it's kind of like one that I just pushed. I pushed it way too hard. I tried to put too many words in it, and it wasn't real. And I don't know. It's like I'm going to test this out for you guys, too, because this is a whole new approach for me. By the way, you have to take a look at my seat I'm sitting on. My daughter made this for me, and the artwork on top of it is what is the meaning, because she put down every band I've ever played in on this guitar. And she said, Dad, I want you to use this. So it's been out on the road with me. This is the second time. And I realized by sitting around my house, too, that I am much more comfortable sitting down than I am standing up. And I think it's because the tapping of my feet. If you'll watch, I notice myself, once I really start to lock in the groove, my left foot will rock back and forth. It don't just tap, but the music goes all the way through me. And I don't want to be, how would I say it, disrespectful to my crowd, but discomfortable for me. And as a songwriter, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to get up here and do, Elvis Presley type of moves anymore. I'm 64 years old. It's just play the song, sing the song, and hopefully people like it, That's just kind of the way that it works. Anyway, I'm sorry. Good question, Jeff. It is Jeff, right? Okay. Very good question. It didn't start, I'm 64 now, so it started about 44 years old, around 40. I had written a couple of songs, which I'll play one of them for you after a while. My first album I actually got done in 1998. I just played guitar. But then I got to a point, to be perfectly honest with you, I can do Willie probably as good as Willie can, and sometimes better if he's drunk. But I got to a point I'm thinking, what are people going to know about me except I could sound like Willie? Ted can tell you that too. He knows more about me than I do. But it got to the point I wanted to say things I wanted to say, how I wanted to say them maybe. And it was the hardest thing. Still is the hardest thing I've ever done musically, because it doesn't come natural. I think you have writers, a lot of times you have players, and in Nashville, these two sometimes maybe from way different backgrounds, but they get together, and the lyric person might get with the music person and do it. But I'm kind of rambling on. Does that kind of answer your question? Yes, it was, Jeff. It's yeah. Correct, I did. Yeah, my dad's family plays. Just about all of them plays. Matter of fact, I learned my first guitar from my 6-year-old cousin. I was 8, and we used to play guitar like this because you couldn't get your fingers around it. It was one of the first licks we did too. So anyway, they had a family band, and I was very envious that that they did what they did. And then on my other side of my family, everybody plays there too, in this Mel Travis type of feel. So I did have a lot to go from. My grandpa he could play any song he heard on the radio just like that. He could pick out that melody, had no idea what notes he was playing or chords. So that kind of came natural. But I was the only one that sang on that side of the family. So family reunions, I would be the one doing the singing. And, so hopefully that kind of answers where you're coming from. But yes, I knew at that particular point, and I had been around Nashville long enough to know I just wanted to go hang around there for a while. But when I first went, to be honest with you, I thought I was pretty much a badass little guitar player. I walked in the first door you walk in, you just get blown right out of the door. They're everywhere. They're great writers. They're great at what they do. Now, I know I'm getting a little bit long on this, but I want to share this with you because it's probably been something that stayed with me longer than anything. there was this one songwriter. His name is Tony Lane, and he's wrote many songs, great songs. And there was at the Broken Spoke. I used to play there. That's where I started at. And I got off the stage one night. And he said, "You know, son, I like that Carolina Rain song." And I said, "Well, thank you, Mr. Lane." I've kind of got to know him a little bit. And he said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "You come around here," he said, "as long as you do what you do the best you can, nobody can touch you." Now think about that a minute. Everybody's totally different. I can't do what John does. I can't do what somebody else does. But if I do what I do the best I can, whether it goes, no matter how far it goes, it really doesn't matter, as long as you're doing your best at what you do. That made a lot of sense to me. So I don't know if that's something you take with you or not, but it sure did mean something to me. So I grew up in a little town called Fruitland right outside of Jackson. It might have had 50 people in it at that particular time. Highway 61 went through there, the only place between St. Louis and Memphis. There was a family lived up the road, and the guy I'm speaking of right here, I don't know what word you might call it right now, but back in that time it wasn't nice words for him. But he was slow, I'll put it that way. And through the years, you know, I noticed that he was pretty special because he never did have a driver's license, never had a girlfriend, but he just kept maintaining and actually took care of his mom and dad till they died. Never had anything but he's got a job at Walmart, and somebody last year stole his bicycle and they had him on the news, and Walmart called the police station and took a bicycle down there. So anyway, this is one called Joe. And for my travels and just by being, you know, different places I see Joe everywhere I go to. And you don't know his story, and that's the whole point of this song. If you stop and think about it, you know, he might have a story that's pretty valid. Joe is 2 years older than me. We grew up in the same little town, but his family was real poor, so the church gave him a place to live. We used to play together in this vacant lot behind the cemetery. And one day this kid was making fun of Joe, so I pushed him down. He got up and gave me my first black eye, and that's the truth. Well, he never did date, he never did drive, but every year he buys a brand new bike. He sells Mason shoes, he'll mow your yard, he'll clean your windshield, he'll even wash your car. Everybody knows Joe. The night Joe graduated from high school, everybody went crazy when he walked across the stage and got his diploma, because everybody there knew how hard he worked for it. Yeah, Joe's got something that you can't buy. It's called determination, persistence, and a whole lot of pride. He's kind of a local hero around here. Everybody knows Joe. Well, he never did date, he never did drive, but every year he buys a brand new bike. He sells Mason shoes, he'll mow your yard, he'll clean your windshield, he'll even wash your car. Everybody knows Joe. Maybe you've seen him on the side of the road somewhere, pedaling along with a basket full of whatever and a plastic bag tied to his handlebars. Yes, ma'am. That's old Joe, all right. He used to live with his mama till she passed away. And then the hospital come and took the house away to pay the medical bills. And since then, I don't think Joe's had a place to call home. Well, he never did date, he never did drive, but every year he buys a brand new bike. He sells Mason shoes, he'll mow your yard, he'll clean your windshield, he'll even wash your car. Everybody knows Joe. You know Joe? Yeah, you do. That's Joe. I'm going to do one more here, kind of an upbeat song, so I can let you out of the gutter a little bit, raise you up, and then we'll talk a little bit, and I'll play a few more and let you guys get on about your way. But I do appreciate it. I really do. I think this is, I needed this badly. Badly. I told Ted I've been anxious for the last 3 weeks and about getting back out on the road again. I knew my buddy John would take care of me. He'd take me under his wing. Let me get myself together, as Big Larry would say. Big Larry would always say, let me get myself together. Somewhere on YouTube, I think it's on Doug Rees' YouTube, I am doing a video of this playing ukulele on top of this, like a big cliff. Why I did it, I have no idea, but I'm doing the ukulele. I barely know the chords anyway, and I'm looking down the whole time, but that's where this song was born. I wonder what would have happened if I stayed in Nashville. And I wonder where it'd be right now if I hadn't met you. And I wonder who that baby might have looked like. To this day, I'm still sorry I let you down. Do you remember that time caught myself on fire? Well, you calmed me down and said I'd be okay. And that night when I lay bleeding in the hallway, I still wonder what would have happened if you weren't there. Yes, I wonder about a lot of things that I did and didn't do. But one thing for sure, I wouldn't be me without you. No, I wouldn't be me without you. With all the things I put you through, most people, they would have turned and walked away. But you stayed here by my side. Hell, you probably saved my life. One thing for sure, I wouldn't be me without you. I told you that I was going back down to Nashville to catch up with my dreams and I'd come home. So you took another chance on the dreamer, and now I finally found the key that fits my soul. Yes, I'm gonna do a lot of things that I did and didn't do. One thing for sure, I wouldn't be me without you. No, I wouldn't be me without you. With all the things I put you through, most people, they would have turned and walked away. but you stayed here by my side. Hell, you probably saved my life. One thing for sure, I wouldn't be me without you. One thing for sure, I wouldn't be me without you, darling, without you. Let's talk a while. I'll get back up here and play some more songs for you. Is that okay? Good deal. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everything in that song, by the way, is true. For sure. Caught on fire one time, and if she wouldn't have been there, I'd probably just still be running around in circles and still be on fire. know that that newest CD that doesn't have my name on it was a project that it started with a song. It was called Maybelline and Stew. That probably was one of the last times I was up here. It's a murder ballad. It's a true murder ballad. And it just kind of like happened one day in my uncle's living room, and I turned my phone on, and you could just hear things happening and hear that track growing. So that's the reason I did that. So I did the Harley Davidson thing for a few years there. I kind of figured out it really wasn't for me. I wasn't big enough for one reason. I don't know. I've never been a street rider, but I sure enjoyed my time while I did. My buddy and I rode, and we bought an old 73 Sportster, and I had an 81 Wide Glide. Anyway, we went out for a ride, and my dad was a truck driver, and we had these two motorcycles on a trailer. We got down to Townsend, Tennessee, and he let us off, and we started riding out through, and actually that day Mike was driving the truck. All of a sudden, we just got in these curves, just on around, and we got to the top of the mountain. It said, "Congratulations, you just done the Dragon Tail." And we had no idea what it was, but it was cool. So there was a motorcycle-only campground there, and we decided to spend the night. Bought a fifth of Gentleman Jack Daniels, and this song was born. I was riding my old Harley down 149 in North Carolina, where that river roll winds. I have my best friend behind me, my face, and the trees were my shelter in that Carolina rain. The Carolina rain, the Carolina rain. Trees were my shelter in that Carolina rain. The rain made a sound as it was falling from the tree. It put my mind at rest, put my soul at ease, and I quit worrying about my problems. I didn't feel no more pain, 'cause my pain it went away in that Carolina rain. The Carolina rain, the Carolina rain, where the trees were my shelter in that Carolina rain. The Carolina rain. The Carolina rain. You know my pain went away in that Carolina rain. You're welcome. Actually, that was the next song on the list, actually, which I usually don't have. But it is Veterans Day, and I would like to thank all of you veterans. I know John is a veteran, and anyway, it's very special, and I appreciate the time that you put in to serve our country and keep us where we are right now. Dad was a veteran too, and it's so cool. Just a real quick story. We got him adjusted in an assisted living facility here the last couple of months, and it's really been. It was hard on me. We probably should have done it like 6 months ago because he's doing so much better. And today, my wife took him out to the Veterans Day high school choir. They sang for him today, and it was just great. The pictures are wonderful. So I wrote this song, okay, a little bit of background on this. Again, I moved to Nashville. We know that, all of that stuff. And then I really knew nothing about writing, but I had a really good friend of mine had been in the writing business. He managed Reba McEntire, Clint Black, and many people. He turned me on to ASCAP. And ASCAP, I would go in there with an idea, and I called him my song doctor, and he would tell me, okay, I like this, I like that, go back home and work on this part. This song took 2.5 years to write. I wrote it probably 4 times, but it was a project song. And I'm glad he made me keep working on it because it makes sense. And it finally turned into something. I mean, it finally had a meaning. It's called Looking for a Better Way, and on Spotify, especially, it's my #1 song. I'm thinking mainly because of the name of it. But with that said, too, I'm going to tell you a little story. I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was playing a little coffee shop, and I was playing this song, and this real tall fellow came in the door, and he was actually from Eastern Africa. He was from Africa. I didn't know that at that particular time, but I got done with the song. He walked up to me, and in broken English, he said, "I want that song." And I didn't really understand it that much. And he said, "I don't care how much it costs." He had a whole wad of bills, and he wanted a CD. And I took out my $10 and gave it to him. But I understand it, looking for a better way, and it was Ethiopian. That's correct. And a bunch of Ethiopians up in that particular part of the world. So I guess maybe that's the reason this song gets a little bit more interest. By the way, I didn't tell you, but I made 27 cents a day. Yep. That's a pretty good day, to be honest with you. Was the heart of the Great Depression. He was barely 17. He said goodbye to a Dust Bowl prison, bought a ticket on a northbound train. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew where he would be. 'Cause that kind of life, it just don't change. With tear-filled eyes through a fogged-up window, he started looking for a better way. And I guess that's why he was my hero. I still miss him yet today. He sure did make a big difference in the kind of man I am today. No, I never heard him make excuses. He didn't pass on any blame. He always knew where he was going, but he kept on looking for a better way. Turned 19 in Oklahoma, 21 in Nashville, Tennessee. He survived the bombing of Pearl Harbor, but he lost a leg right above the knee. Well, he worked his way through college. He ran a business of his own. He lost his only wife at 30. Raised my mama all alone, and he took care of everybody until the day that he went home. Yes, that's why he was my hero. I still miss him yet today. He sure did make a big difference in the kind of man I am today. No, I never heard him make excuses. He didn't pass on any blame. He always knew where he was going, but he kept on looking for a better way. Yes, he always knew where he was going, but he kept on looking for a better way. Looking for a better way, better way. Looking for a better way. Thank you. When I die, no need for crying, 'cause I'll be smiling when I go. Flesh and blood will no longer matter, but I will leave here with my soul. And if you ever want to find me, think of me and I'll appear in a dream or in a moment or in a memory we share. Ain't no cure for dying. Many friends are gone, but tonight I'm thinking about Johnny and I'm singing him a song. No, Johnny wasn't much for country. He had outlaw in his soul. Blues was in his veins and his heart was rock and roll. Johnny was always happy. He lived the sunny side of life. I watched him cut out a buried fish up with a rusty Barlow knife. And the whole time he was smiling, he was sipping on Jim Beam, saying, here's a shot from my finger and the rest is for you and me. Yes, we'd light a smoke, toast a shot, and then we'd drink a beer. Yeah, that's what me and Johnny do if he was sitting here. Yeah, Bobby was a daddy. He was a grandpa and a friend. He was the husband to a woman that he loved until the end. Well, I guess it was music, y'all, that bonded him and I. So tonight I'm singing about Johnny with Johnny on my mind. Yes, we'd light a smoke, toast a shot, and then we'd drink a beer. Yeah, that's what me and Johnny do if he was sitting here. Yeah, that's what me and Johnny do if he was sitting here. Thank you very much. Thank you much. It's a relatively new song. That's about the only one that's pushed out of me here in the last couple of years. But that happened alongside the New River out in West Virginia, actually. I should use my tuner, I don't know. Me and Sister Penny found her laying in the weeds while visiting a friend from Nashville, Tennessee. Her frozen headless body was all covered up with snow. How it ever happened, nobody really knows. Penny got there with her as I walked up to the house. I was knocking on the door when I heard Penny shout, I found her head, it wasn't hard. I messed that song all up. Can I start all over again? Is that all right? See, I told you that. You know, once you get started going the wrong direction, it just seems like it multiplies. Come on, Dougie. Me and Sister Penny found her laying in the weeds while visiting a friend from Nashville, Tennessee. Her frozen headless body was all covered up with snow. How it ever happened, nobody really knows. But Penny sat there with her as I walked up to the house. I was knocking on the door when I heard Penny shout, I found her head, she'll be all right. Well, I'll pick her up and set her there underneath that light. We pulled that concrete body from that frozen flower bed, then went back in to rescue Mother Mary's head. True story. Well, my friend came out, apologized, said he had to go. He was playing on the road back then with George the Possum Jones. And he told Sister Penny if she could fix her up to put her broken pieces in the back of my old truck. So we took Mother Mary back to good old Missouri, her body in the bed and her head in the front seat. We fixed her head, it wasn't hard. We put a purple ribbon around her neck and set her up in the yard. She's fallen quite a few times, Sister Penny said. Up to now, Mother Mary hasn't lost her head. Up to now, Mother Mary hasn't lost her head. I knew I could get to it. Just had to take a run at it. I get some mixed comments about that song sometimes. But that's exactly. Penny Sue's another one. I might try that one after a while too. Penny Sue is in that one all the way, and that is a true story. You can't make things up like that. I could still see her pulling Mother Mary up and couldn't find her head, and she was digging all in that flower bed trying to find it. Mentioned my cousin Mark. Cousin Mark is quite a singer and songwriter himself for sure, and a great voice. It's a wonderful voice. And we wrote this song together at about 2002, I think it was, and at that particular time, neither one of us had witnessed anything about the song, but could be I don't know, maybe a burden or something, but it's all kind of come true. It's come full circle around. Really like this song. It's just called On the Front Porch. On the front porch, there's a July moon in the silver sky, and I'm trying to unscramble some things running through my mind. Big Dipper's turned upside down, that means it's gonna rain. Well, that's something that my daddy told me Grandpa used to say on the front porch. Well, we sold our house, moved in with him the year Mom passed away. Now it sits and stares from his rocking chair. Time is stealing him away. Twice a child and once a man, I heard him say before. Now the only thing that hasn't changed is the squeaking that screen door on the front porch. Yes, if I could see in front of me the way I see behind, I'd never let another chance to say I love you pass me by. See, I come out here for answers. No, I'm not just wasting time. I find peace of mind on the front porch. On the front porch. Staring at the Christmas tree that I planted in the yard. Like me, it's seen its troubled times, and it can't hide all its scars. That pine tree grew up with me, now we're watching my children grow. And I swear we both shed a tear when we watched the last one go from the front porch. Yes, if I could see in front of me the way I see behind, I never let another chance to say I love you pass me by. See, I come out here for answer. No, I'm not just wasting time. I find peace of mind on the front porch. On the front porch. On the front porch. That's a deep one, isn't it? That's taking you deep. Actually, I have to tell you, Josh Turner actually was interested in that song for about a day, and he had us rewrite the last verse, but never heard from him again. That's just the way the business works. But, you know, if you just keep doing it, I think that song has got enough grit that it'll hang in there and maybe get cut someday. You know, because it's real life. It's the way life is, for sure. Any type of song you guys want to hear? Maybe I could come up with something. It all comes. Not anybody that you would probably recognize. I don't think so, no. I mean, a few of my peers have recorded them and put them on albums. The Carolina Rain song has been recorded a few times. But when I first moved to Nashville, that was my whole deal, is I went there to pitch songs. I wanted to learn to be a songwriter. And I used to do that. I'd go into publisher's office, and I would play them songs. And this one friend of mine, he still is in the business. As you know, as country music is, especially, it's evolving all the time. My songs are kind of dated. But I think a song like that one right there could maybe have a new sound to it and maybe fit today's music. As my publisher said one particular time, he said, "You write me a good song, I'll make it country." That makes sense. But so it's very important, I think, just to make sure you write it as best you can. And no, nothing of significance at this particular time. I haven't. I'm not getting any royalty checks, so I think I might be able to if that was the case. Yeah, exactly. Maybe my kids might get that. Maybe that'll work out that way. Yeah, yeah. The one song is kind of a Willie tune, and it. Yeah. I have to get him up here sometime. You guys will get a kick out of him. He's a dandy. But we're going to have more than 6 beers around whenever that happens. Yeah, lots of different. Yeah, Mark, I'd like to get him up here. You guys would enjoy him. I will do that. Well, I know you, and you know me, but all of a sudden, baby, we don't know each other. Tell me what went wrong. Well, you do your thing, and I do mine. We do for everybody, then we run out of time together. Then we blame each other. Well, we're not the same to people that fell in love, but we got what we got together. We We learned to live together by living apart. Now we both feel so damn lonely. So you do your thing and I'll do mine. But let's do some things together, baby, just you and I, and try real hard to just get happy. Not the same to people that fell in love, but we got what we got together. We learned to live together by living apart. Now we both feel so damn lonely. So I'll do your thing and you do mine, but let's do some things together, baby, just you and I, and try real hard to just get happy. Yes, try real hard to just get happy. Where do they come from? Where's those songs come from anyway? You never have no idea. Just get happy. I'm going to do one more tune here, kiddos, and probably get out and let you guys get home for the evening too, and make sure I find my warm clothes before the night's over. I can't thank you enough for coming out and spending your evening with me here. A couple of hours and kind of getting my feet wet back out on the road again, and gives me an idea of what the rest of the week's going to be like. It's going to be wonderful. I was telling Miss Donna there a while ago, when I first started this traveling 10 years ago and doing what I'm doing, I was so pumped up about getting my music out there and letting people hear my music. And you know, now it's way down on the list. I've made so many great friends traveling across this country. Realize that I'm not the first one that ever did this. There's a lot of people who's done it before me, and a lot of people that will keep on going with it. But the friendships that I've made and along the way, it's a priceless gift. And you guys have shared that with me tonight. And I won't forget it. I remember the first time I met John and Mr. Bob here, I'm thinking, that's pretty cool. I made friends. And I think it's the third time I've been for you guys, maybe the other one, Kwani, maybe once or two, but I'm making friends across the United States, basically, all the way up to the other side of Colorado. So it kind of keeps me on the move, and I've always got maybe a place to stay, and now the wife goes with me. It's just a wonderful deal. So thank you once again for coming out tonight, kiddos. Much appreciated. It's one called I Like My Life. Thank you, dear. Thank you. I think I wrote this on the way home from your place one time. Drove all night long from Davenport for 6 hours in the rain, thinking about the gig I had and grinning all the way. Yes, the sun was coming up as I pulled into the drive, and I thought, man, I'm really tired. But I sure do like my life. I like my life. It likes me too. I like who I am, and I like what I do. I like my family, and I like my wine. I like my friends. Heck yes, I like my life. went in and made some coffee. And I turned on MTV. I watched Wild Boys and Jackass till I went to sleep. And I got woke up 2 hours later with the kids jumping on my bed, saying, "Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon, get up, you sleepyhead." Well, I got food, I got shelter, got new strings on my guitar, got some money in my pocket, got some gas in my old truck. I like my life, it likes me too. I like who I am and I like what I do. I like my family and I like my wine. I like my friends, heck yes, I like my life. Thank you, folks. Thank you very, very much. Wonderful evening. Wonderful evening. Enjoy, guys. You know I probably could. That would be a good one for me to work out, Bob. Good. I think I will do that one. I might do that one and one more so I can remember it. Maybe. My little sister named Penny Sue was as frail as a child could be. She was so shy, wouldn't ask for a drink. Instead, she'd just look at me. Through Coke bottle glasses, her puppy dog eyes would always break me down. And she clung to me like a lint on a suit. I couldn't stand to see her frown. She called me her honey bunny, and I called her the same. And when any time Penny Sue got in trouble, I could still hear Mama say, "Penny Sue, what am I ever gonna do with you? Oh, Penny Sue, you make me crazy as a loon. Oh, Penny Sue, what am I gonna do, girl, with you?" There we go. Well, my honey bunny, she got married, and he took her to the Philippines. And that's just where that fella left. It seemed a million miles away from me. So I jumped in my truck, drove as far as I could. From there I took a boat. I wound up one day at her doorstep. I said, "Come on, sis, we're going home." When we got back to Mama's house, she was standing in the front doorway, and I could still recall Penny Sue's face when we heard Mama say, "Oh, Penny Sue, what am I ever gonna do with you? Oh, Penny Sue, you make me crazy as a loon. Oh, Penny Sue, what am I gonna do, girl, with you? Penny Sue, what am I gonna do, girl, with you?" Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. I did. You're welcome. This is Veterans Day also. I want to play this one. Ted and I talked about this song. This is another one that took a long time. And I haven't played it in a long time, but it is perfect time to do it tonight. If I can remember it, it doesn't matter. I'll get through it. I'll remember it somehow. I wrote this. It started about a drunken coach. And honestly, it did. It's how the song started. And I was living in Nashville when 9/11 happened. And then it kind of changed gears. Still kind of had the coach in it too, but I'm trying to remember the flight that was in Pennsylvania that went down and they took over the plane. Is that correct? 109 maybe? I heard the story of it, and there was a guy by the name of Jeremy Glick that kind of started getting people together to take the plane back over. And I read about him, and he was a wrestler in high school, and he was also a martial arts guy. So by my wrestling coaching background, I just wanted to know more about him. So kind of made this song a little bit about him with the coach in there again, but the song became positive and negative at the same time, I suppose. But anyway, after I got the song done, I got to researching. I found some names in this particular story, and I found his martial arts coach. And he turned me on to his daughter, which I sent this song by email to Jeremy Glick's, sister. So Jeremy's mom and dad got to hear this song. At least they did. So I'll see if we can do this one. He called me coach, I called him kid. He tugged on my shirt till I finally gave in. He showed me some moves, I like what I seen, and he earned a spot on my wrestling team. He got in trouble back in junior high. I talked to the principal and he let it slide. But I made him run for hours on end. I made him swear to me he'd never do it again. I said with every choice there's a challenge. You gotta pay with sweat and tears. Keep your mind on what you're doing and don't give in to your fears. You keep your shoulders back, your head held high, and believe in who you are. With every choice there's a challenge, and the truth is in your heart. He moved on, I stayed there. It was 9/11, 2001, that he died a hero on a hijacked plane. Who knows for sure how many lives he saved? Day I got a letter from his wife. I opened it up and I started to cry. It was a picture of me. He had a step in his shirt, and on the back he had written these very words. With every choice there's a challenge. You gotta pay with sweat and tears. Keep your mind on what you're doing and don't give in to your fear. You keep your shoulders back, your head held high, and believe in who you are. With every choice there's a challenge, and the truth is in your heart. With every choice there's a challenge, and the truth is in your heart. Did it. I didn't butcher it. It wasn't a train wreck. One more and I'll get out of here, guys. We kind of got me going here on one. This is why I do this. Never seen the bright lights, but maybe it's better that way. 'Cause I like to live simple, and it's getting harder to do these days. You know I play my songs for money, play my songs for free. But today I'm gonna play my songs for me. I'm sitting here by a fire on a cold and rainy day, thinking about a memory with every song I play. You know I play my songs for money, I play my songs for free. But today I'm gonna play my songs for me. You know I don't do what I do for fame or fortune. I do it because it makes me feel good inside. I don't do what I do to make my living. I think I do it to help me stay alive. Play when I'm happy, and I play sometimes when I'm blue. But I try to write the real songs and just be true to what I do. You know I play my songs for money, I play my songs for free. But today I'm gonna play my songs. Yesterday I'm gonna play my songs for me. My friends at Bishop Hill, everybody in the house tonight, I thank you for coming to see me, yes I do. It sure is nice to meet new people along the way, but it sure is nice to get out in the cold weather like it's gonna be when I walk out that door. So I gotta find my coat. Good night, everybody.